Welcome to our channel. Embark on a journey through our video series dedicated to comprehensively covering the content of the CITB book, Health, Safety and Environment Test for Managers and Professionals. Throughout these videos, we delve into the crucial topics outlined in the book. Section A, Legal and Management. Section B, Occupational Health, Well-being and Welfare. Section C, General Safety. Section D, High-risk activities. Section E, Environment. Section F, Specialist activities. In this particular video, we focus on Section B, 07, Dust and Fumes, Respiratory Hazards. For your convenience, a link in the top right corner of the video allows easy navigation through the entire series. We are certain that by engaging with this video series, you will be thoroughly equipped to effectively handle your CSCS card. Keep in mind, the CSCS test typically lasts around 45 minutes, and scoring at least 45 out of 50 questions correctly is required to pass. Before we delve into the content, please show your support by liking and subscribing. Your support means a lot to us. Let's embark on this learning journey together.
Which of the following is the most effective way of preventing or eliminating the presence of respiratory hazards on a construction project? Providing suitable protective equipment to all workers on site to control residual risk. Ensuring there is a dedicated cutting area provided to avoid dust getting into the air. Using water suppression on all cutting equipment that generates or creates dust. Planning for the manufacturing or cutting of materials at a location away from site. Which one of the following control measures would reduce airborne dust from a circular saw? Attaching a suitable extraction unit. Opening windows in the area. Fitting a wider cover to the blade. Fixing a water suppression system. Which one of the following can be implemented to prevent respiratory hazards facing a gang of bricklayers? The introduction of block splitters. The use of respiratory protective equipment. The implementation of task rotation. The increase in health surveillance. Identify 2 management principles that will control dust hazards in the workplace. Any expected exposure must be controlled to an acceptable level. All employees are informed of all control measures in place. Risk assessments are completed at least 2 days in advance. All work is done outside in the open to ensure adequate ventilation. All new starters are informed about the health effects of dust exposure. It is important to control wood dust when cutting or sanding wood because it can cause occupational asthma and nasal cancer, emphysema and lung elasticity loss, silicosis and scarring of the lung, pleural thickening and pulmonary disease. Construction dusts can cause irreversible health conditions through regular and uncontrolled exposure. Is this correct? Yes, these illnesses normally take many years to become visible and can be paralysing or fatal. No, sites manage and control operations that create dust to minimise exposure to workers. Yes, exposure can cause a range of conditions, including effects such as chronic coughing. No, personal protective equipment is issued to all workers to prevent uncontrolled exposure. You are chasing out walls inside a small room. Identify 2 control measures to prevent workers from exposure to airborne dust. 1. Use the correct on-tool dust extraction or water suppression and wear a high-efficiency face mask like FFP3. 2. Open the windows and door to allow the dust to escape into the atmosphere. This removes the need for a mask. 3. Use the on-tool dust extraction or water suppression and keep everyone else from entering the room to prevent exposure. 4. Open the door and windows and wear a face mask when dust starts to build up to prevent or reduce exposure to dust. 1 and 2 only. 1 and 3 only. 1 and 4 only. 2 and 4 only. Identify 2 control measures that will help to prevent exposure to diesel fumes in an area where free movement of air is restricted and there is no ventilation. Workers must wear personal monitors to warn of carbon monoxide buildup. A banksman must be present to warn others of the buildup of carbon monoxide. A supervisor must be present wearing personal monitors to control carbon monoxide. Air monitoring in the building must be in place to warn of carbon monoxide buildup. A risk assessment must clearly specify the acceptable levels of carbon monoxide. A worker is using a petrol disc cutter to cut concrete paving slabs. The disc cutter has a suitable dust suppression water bottle, and the operator is not clean-shaven, but is wearing a face mask. Is this adequate protection? Yes. Concrete dust contains very heavy particles, which fall to the ground and cannot enter the airway through a small gap in the mask. No, a worker could still be exposed as facial hair only protects against larger dust particles that can be seen by the human eye. Yes, using the dust suppression water bottle will eliminate the risks to the operator from harmful levels of exposure to dust. No, facial hair can create an inadequate fit, which will significantly reduce the protection provided to the wearer. When conducting a welding fabrication task that involves heating up metal, an occupational health risk is created as the operative could lose their vision permanently from the bright arc created, inhale fine metal particles causing severe burns to their respiratory tract, burn their skin with hot metal fragments from the flashback created, inhale microscopic metal particles created by the fumes cooling down. One reason why an existing gas installation must be inspected by a gas-safe engineer following any refurbishment work is to prevent what type of poisoning? Carbon disulfide, carbon dioxide, carbon hydroxide, carbon monoxide. Which one of the following are the 2 main types of silicosis workers can suffer from after high levels of exposure to silica dusts in the construction industry? Accelerated and acute silicosis, atrophied and chronic silicosis, acute and chronic silicosis, acute and pleural silicosis. What must your employer provide concerning silica dusts? information on when to use water suppression as a control measure. Product safety sheets on how to manage and prevent exposure. Toolbox talks on how to use the tool extraction as a safety measure. Employee training on the hazards resulting from any exposure. Which one of the following is conducted as part of a health surveillance programme in the stone masonry trade? Urine test, chest X-ray, blood test, eye examination. Which of the following statements describing the effects of asbestosis are correct? 1. Asbestosis is not a form of lung cancer or mesothelioma, so people can live with the disease. 2. Asbestosis is a form of lung cancer that is always fatal, with death often occurring within months of diagnosis. 3. The condition is incurable and will get worse over time, therefore treatment is required. 4. The effects can be slowly reversed after exposure to asbestos has stopped, and it is curable. 1 and 4 only. 1 and 3 only. 2 and 4 only. 3 and 4 only. Why is it important to ensure that the appropriate respiratory equipment and dust suppression tools are used when cutting cement blocks on site? To reduce the chances of the worker contracting silicosis. To ensure that the employer meets the current health and safety legislation. To reduce the noise exposure to the worker and surrounding people. To ensure that the employee does not contract lead poisoning from the dust. What health condition might you develop if you work in a dusty environment over long periods of time? Occupational asthma, occupational dermatitis, skin cancer, Weil's disease, leptospirosis. Which of the following statements is the most accurate description of the harm that may be caused by exposure to solvent vapours? They deposit bacteria into the body at locations where the most harm can be caused. They can often be toxic, causing chronic effects or dizziness, unconsciousness, and death. They are hazardous in enclosed spaces as they quickly build up to dangerous concentrations. They can cause a range of conditions from coughing and sneezing to chronic disease. After knowingly or unknowingly breathing in silica particles over a long period of time, which of the following conditions are construction workers most likely to suffer from due to exposure to low levels of respirable crystalline silica, RCS? Chronic effects such as liver damage, hardening or scarring of the lung tissue, severe or chronic occupational asthma, diffuse pleural thickening of the lung. Which two of the following work processes on site can potentially expose workers to respiratory sensitizers that can cause occupational asthma? Spray painting using 2-pack paints. Cutting slabs, curbs or concrete. Second fix joinery and carpentry work. Oxyacetylene or oxypropane welding. Plant powered by internal combustion engines. You are about to start work in a confined space, and you will be using an engine-powered generator, 110 volts, to power your tools. Which two of the following may be acutely fatal as well as causing long-term consequences such as lung cancer? Carbon dioxide produced by the exhaust polluting breathable air. Unburnt hydrocarbons produced by incomplete combustion of the exhaust. Hydrogen monoxide produced by engine batteries when the generator is running. Carbon monoxide produced by restriction on the movement of air. Dihydrogen monoxide producing vapours as the exhaust is heating up.
Congratulations on your progress. Every step brings you closer to your goals. Keep embracing knowledge until you achieve your desired success. Look for the link in the top right corner to seamlessly transition to the next video.